A fundamental scripture opening the door to the esoteric world, a brief introduction to the Mahavairocana Sutra. Introduction, the voice of truth illuminating everywhere. Among the vast ocean of Buddhist scriptures, there is one that stands unique with its profound philosophy and mysterious rituals. Its expounder is not the familiar Shakyamuni Buddha, but the Dharmakaya Buddha, Mahavairocana. Its practice method emphasizes the corresponding union of body, speech, and mind, three mysteries, advocating for the attainment of Buddhahood in this very body. Its content not only encompasses profound teachings but also involves esoteric practices such as mandalas, mantras, and homa. This scripture is the Mahavairocana Sutra, renowned as the fundamental scripture of esoteric Buddhism. The full title of this sutra is the Mahavairocana Abhisabodhivikarvadina Sutra. The Sutra of the Great Vairocana's enlightenment and the miraculous empowerment conferring Buddhahood. Mahavairocana means great sun, symbolizing that the wisdom light of this Buddha shines everywhere, capable of dispelling the darkness of ignorance. As one of the fundamental scriptures upon which Chinese Han transmission esoteric Buddhism, Tang and Japanese Shingon Buddhism are based. It is regarded, along with the Vajraśekhara Sutra, as the two great divisions of the Dharma, jointly constructing the theoretical system of pure esoteric teachings. If exoteric scriptures are public teachings aimed at the masses, the Mahavairocana Sutra is considered the esoteric revelation of the Dharmakaya Buddha's own inner realization. It tells us that every sentient being inherently possesses the pure Bodhisattva, and through proper practice, one can realize the ultimate Buddhahood in this very lifetime. 1. Explanation of the title. What does Mahavairocana mean? Mahavairocana is the Chinese transliteration of the Sanskrit term, which is interpreted as Great Sun. The name Great Sun carries three profound meanings. Firstly, sunlight shines everywhere, undifferentiated by night or day, inside or out, symbolizing that the wisdom of the Dharmakaya Buddha universally illuminates all beings. Secondly, sunlight nurtures the growth of all things, symbolizing that the Tathagata's compassion nourishes all wholesome roots. Thirdly, sunlight dispels all darkness, symbolizing that the Buddha's wisdom eradicates the ignorance of sentient beings. Abhisabodhi signifies that Mahavairocana has perfectly realized the state of Buddhahood. Vikarvita, miraculous transformation, manifests the Buddha's inconceivable spiritual powers in liberating beings. Adhina, empowerment, is the Buddha's sustaining power, protecting and blessing beings with his fundamental vow, enabling them to attain achievements through practice. Therefore, this scripture records the profound esoteric teachings revealed by Mahavairocana Tathagata. After realizing Buddhahood, empowering and protecting beings, and expounding the Dharma for bodhisattvas like Vajrapani. 2. The path of transmission. According to tradition, the original Sanskrit text of the Mahavairocana Sutra existed in an extensive version of 100,000 verses. The Bodhisattva Nagarjuna later compiled an abridged version of over 3,000 verses, extracting the essentials. In the 12th year of the Kayuan era, 724 CE, Ubhakarasya, Shanwai, one of the renowned three great masters of the Kayuan era, arrived in Luoyang. Together with the Chan master Yixing, he translated this sutra into Chinese, completing a 7-fascicle version. Master Yixing, having personally received teachings from Ubhakarasya, wrote the 20-fascicle commentary on the Mahavairocana Sutra, providing a systematic and in-depth annotation of the sutra. This commentary became the foundational work of Chinese esoteric Buddhist theory. The sutra was later transmitted to Japan, becoming the core scripture of the Shingon sect, Tamitsu, and the Taimitsu branch. 3. Core teachings. The threefold Dharma gate and the principle of the syllable A is originally unborn. 1. Bodhisattva as the cause, great compassion as the root, and skillful means as the ultimate goal. The first chapter of the Mahavairocana Sutra, the chapter on abiding in the mind for entering the mantra gate, serves as the general outline of the entire sutra. Within this chapter, 3 sentences encapsulate the essential teachings of the whole scripture, known as the threefold Dharma gate. Bodhicitta is the cause, great compassion is the root, skillful means are the ultimate goal. These 3 statements progress in a stepwise manner, forming a complete path of practice. Bodhicitta is the cause, refers to the fundamental seed of attaining Buddhahood. Bodhicitta means, to know one's own mind as it really is, to truly recognize the pure Buddha nature inherently present within oneself. This mind is not the ordinary, discriminating, deluded mind but the awakened mind identical to that of all Buddhas. It is the starting point of practice and the basis for realizing Buddhahood. In daily life, cultivating bodhicitta means constantly turning the mind inward to observe itself, not being swayed by external circumstances, and maintaining awareness in all activities. Great compassion is the root, emphasizes that bodhicitta must take root and grow through compassionate actions that benefit all beings. Just as a tree needs roots to grow, bodhicitta needs the nourishment of great compassion to flourish. The esoteric practitioner does not seek liberation for oneself alone but takes liberating all sentient beings as their own responsibility. To cultivate great compassion is to empathize with the suffering of others, to treat people with a gentle heart, and to act with altruism in daily life. Skillful means are the ultimate goal, is the most distinctive teaching of the Mahavairocana Sutra. Skillful means refer to the numerous adept methods for liberating beings. Ultimate goal refers to the highest truth and final attainment. This statement indicates that true, ultimate Buddhahood does not merely abide in a state of tranquil emptiness, but can employ limitless skillful means to deeply enter the world and liberate beings. As Master Sheng Yen stated, this truly manifests the great distinctive feature of Mahayana Buddhism. For modern people, skillful means is the flexible application of wisdom, when facing different people and situations. One can benefit self and others with skillful methods without clinging to fixed forms. 2. The syllable A is originally unborn, the fundamental mantra of esoteric Buddhism. In esoteric practice, mantras hold a special position, and the source of all mantras is the syllable A. The Mahavairocana Sutra puts forward the principle of, the syllable A is originally unborn. The Sanskrit syllable A is the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. Its pronunciation requires no oral movement, symbolizing the origin of all dharmas. Originally unborn means that fundamentally, there is no origination or cessation, the truth of the emptiness of all phenomena. By contemplating and reciting the syllable A, practitioners can enter the state of the originally empty nature of the self. This method of entering the path through sound and syllable embodies the esoteric practice of the 3 mysteries in correspondence. In everyday life, we can also use the contemplation of the syllable to calm the mind. When afflictions arise, contemplate that these afflictions have no self-nature, like flowers in the sky or the moon's reflection in water, empty in that very moment. Contemplating thus, the mind attains freedom. 3. Attaining truth in phenomena, seeing reality in the mundane. Another important concept in the Mahavairocana Sutra is attaining truth in phenomena. This means that one does not need to leave daily phenomena to directly perceive the truth of the universe. Mountains, rivers, the great earth, grass, trees, tiles, and stones, all are manifestations of the Dharmakaya Tathagata. Walking, standing, sitting, lying down, speaking, acting, being silent, or moving, every moment is a place for practice. This concept aligns with the unobstructed interpenetration of phenomena taught in the Avatamsaka Sutra, but places greater emphasis on the feasibility of practical cultivation. Do not seek the ritual space elsewhere, your own mind is the mandala. Do not wait for the fruit of Buddhahood in the future. Enlightenment is right here, right now. 4. Mandala and the Three Mysteries, the practical system of esoteric practice. 1. The Garbhodhata Mandala, a blueprint of the universe. The mandala established by the Mahavairocana Sutra is called the Great Compassion Womb Matrix Mandala, Makara Garbhamala. Also known as the Garbhodhata Mandala. Garbhodhatu, womb realm, uses the metaphor of a mother's womb containing a fetus, symbolizing that the seed of Buddhahood inherently present in the minds of all beings gradually grows, blossoms, and bears fruit under the nurturing care of the Tathagata's great compassion. The Garbhodhata Mandala is centered on the 8-petal lotus courtyard at its core. At the center is Mahavairocana Buddha. In the 4 cardinal and 4 intermediate directions are 4 Buddhas and 4 Bodhisattvas, representing the 4 wisdoms and 4 practices of Bodhisattva. Outwardly, it unfolds through 3 successive enclosure courtyards, enshrining over 400 revered figures, including various Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, wisdom kings, and devas. This structure, progressing from the inner to the outer and from the profound to the more accessible, represents the Buddha's compassionate mind embracing beings, allowing them to gradually deepen their realization and enter the Buddha's state. For practitioners, the mandala is not merely an object of contemplation but a blueprint of the merits inherent in one's own mind. Each of us has a perfect mandala within, waiting to be revealed through practice. 2. The Three Mysteries in Correspondence, the means to attain Buddhahood in this body. The most distinctive feature of esoteric practice is the correspondence of the Three Mysteries. Forming mudras with the hands, body mystery, reciting mantras with the mouth, speech mystery, and visualizing the deity with the mind mystery. The Mahavairocana Sutra systematically expounds this practice system. The practitioner, by forming the mudra of the Buddha, causes their bodily action to correspond with the Buddha's body mystery. By reciting the Buddha's mantra, causes their speech to correspond with the Buddha's speech mystery. By visualizing the Buddha's seed syllable or mandala, causes their mental action to correspond with the Buddha's mind mystery. Through the empowerment of these 3 mysteries, one can transform the ordinary 3 actions, of body, speech, and mind, into the 3 mysteries of the Buddha and realize Buddhahood in this very life. This method of practice inherits the meditative traditions of early Buddhism while incorporating elements of incantation from Indian culture, forming a unique system of practice. In modern life, although we may not be able to practice complex esoteric rituals, we can appreciate the spirit of the 3 mysteries. Purifying bodily karma through respectful physical actions, such as joining palms or bowing. Purifying speech karma through wholesome words, such as reciting the Buddha's name or mantras. And purifying mental karma through pure thoughts, such as contemplation or mindfulness, moment by moment corresponding with the Buddha. 3. Homa and Abhika, secret rituals. The Mahavairocana Sutra also elaborates in detail on esoteric rituals such as homa, fire offering, and abhika, empowerment/consecration. Homa has both external and internal aspects. External homa involves setting up an altar and making physical offerings to be burnt. Internal homa involves the inner contemplation of burning the fuel of afflictions with the fire of wisdom. Abhika is the crucial ritual for transmitting esoteric dharma. A disciple must receive authorization from an acharya, master, to be qualified to learn and practice the esoteric teachings. The existence of these rituals maintains the tradition of secret transmission in esoteric Buddhism while also providing concrete forms of practice for abstract doctrines. 5. Status and influence, the foundational scripture of Tamitsu and Taimitsu. After its introduction to China, the Mahavairocana Sutra, together with the Vajraśekhara Sutra, formed the theoretical foundation of Chinese esoteric Buddhism, corresponding respectively to the Garbhodhatu and Vajradhatu, the two great divisions of the Dharma. During the Tang dynasty, the three masters Abhakarasiha, Vajrabodhi, and Amaghavajra widely propagated the esoteric teachings, making esoteric Buddhism highly prosperous. Master Yixing's commentary on the Mahavairocana Sutra further elevated the theoretical stature of this scripture. After the Emperor Wuzong of Tang's persecution of Buddhism, esoteric Buddhism gradually declined in central China. But its Dharma lineage was transmitted eastward to Japan, where it flourished and branched out. Master Kukai, Kobo Daisher, received the Dharma from Master Huigua, Kika Ajari, and, upon returning to Japan, founded the Shingon sect, Tamitsu. Taking the Mahavairocana Sutra and the Vajraśekhara Sutra as its fundamental scriptures, Master Seicho, Dengyo Daisher, integrated esoteric practices into the Tendai school, forming the Tamitsu branch. To this day, the Mahavairocana Sutra remains a fundamental scripture for daily recitation and study in Japanese Shingon Buddhism. Conclusion: the light within, inherently complete. Looking back at the core teachings of the Mahavairocana Sutra, perhaps the most moving aspect is this belief. Within each of our minds, there is a great sun that is inherently luminous. This light has never dimmed, it is only temporarily veiled by the clouds of delusion. Bodhicitta is the cause, recognizing this inherent light is the beginning of practice. Great compassion is the root, warming all beings with this light is the path of practice. Skillful means are the ultimate goal. Transforming this light into limitless skillful means to universally illuminate the world is the completion of practice. The wisdom of the Mahavairocana Sutra tells us, Buddhahood is not in the distant future, not in another world, it is right here, in this single thought of our present mind. If one can truly know one's own mind, one can truly see the Buddha. If one can nourish beings with great compassion, one can accomplish the ultimate goal through skillful means. As the sutra itself states, what is enlightenment? It is to know your own mind as it truly is. These words may be the most profound summary of the Mahavairocana Sutra. May all who have affinity realize this great sun-like light within their own minds, and through the skillful means of the three mysteries, bring benefit and joy to all beings.